Yo, okay, so check this out. I'm going to do a bit, and I got God's people up on here on the screen right now because this one's for you, right? Because, look, I'm going to show you some words because this is just what we have to do, right? And then the reason why I'm showing these words is because, so when I was coming up, and then I was searching, and then I was wandering the lands, and, I would go from place to place, and then, I would hang out, and then I would hang out in the church, right? And then I would see how people would treat other people in the church, right? So I didn't go to the church when I was a young dude, right? And then, well, technically, I guess I was baptized Catholic, but I wasn't awake, I wasn't aware. And then I had a girlfriend, and then this is when I was like 16, 15, 16, I don't know, something like that, right? And then she was a Christian, and then I went to her church, right? And then I saw how all the people were acting in that church, and then I was like, ooh, there's something up with you guys. Like, you guys are all like sleeping with each other. I don't know what's up with that, right? But then the people in the church just weren't acting right, man. So then I kept going on my journey, and then I went away from the church because, I was only there at the church because the woman was there, right? So then I would go through, and then I would just wander the lands, and then I would talk to people, and then I would read books, and then I would just do stuff like that. And I was totally, I was what you would call an atheist, right? And then I became agnostic, right? Because I didn't know what God was, right? Nobody told me what God was. Nobody had a conversation with me. Nobody told me that God was always walking with me. I had none of this stuff, man. And then the coronavirus popped off, and then, I had a lot of insight, right? And then I broke down in the garage because then I realized God was always with me, right? God was always walking with me. He was always looking out for me. And I was like, whoa, bro, I didn't know you were always there, but then you were always there. And then you were always putting knowledge in my face and then just showing me what's up, man. And, I love God for that, man. So, this one's for God's people because, I just want to show you guys some key words, and one of the words that I want to show you is, where is it? Do I even have it? I'm going to find it. Let's find it right here. I want to show you the church, man. Literally, I want to show you the church because the church is power, man. The church is where all the power is for God's people because look at what it says right here. To swell, right? But then you have it right here, the Lord's house, right? From Kyrios, ruler, Lord, right? And then it goes right here to swell, right? But then up here it says place of assemblage set aside for Christian worship, right? The body of Christian believers, right? The body, so this is what was up, man. And then I was realizing that, where is it now? Okay, so right here, God's people were hanging out in the body, right? But then the body was being led by people, right? And then these people they weren't leading like how I would lead if I was one of those people up there, right? So, right, this is what's up now, man. I'm going to show you what's up with some key words, man. So hopefully it's going to free some of God's people, right? Ready? Let's set it up, man. Okay, here goes the order. We always start off with the order. Remember, God created the world. Check, right? God created man, aka people. Check. People created states. Check. People created constitutions. Check. People created governments. Check. Question. When did government become boss of the people? All right, so let's get into some keywords, right? So I have divine right here, right? I like divine, right? You know why I say divine? Because it's to shine, right? So when you know what you're divine, you're shining, man. Scary, simple service, right? But look at how it says right here. Derivatives, sky, heaven, God, okay? Remember that? All right, so let's keep it moving. Reason, right? Here's another word, keyword flow. Ready? Here we go. Reason, to question, right? But then you have right here, reckon, to think, right? Ready, to reckon, think, right? So those are very important words, man. All right, so let's get into some maxims. Boom. Ready? Here we go. 49D. Reason is a ray of the divine light. That's a fact, man. That's a great law. All right, let's keep it going. Boom. All right, so ready? Here we go. 72I. Obedience is the essence of the law. That's another fact, man. Obey. It's the essence of the law. All right, so check it out. Let's keep it going. 35B, right? I remember I checked out the other video bit and I said 34, right? But whatever, I'm correcting myself now. 35B. Let everyone employ himself in what he knows. That's a fact, man. All right, so let's keep it going. Boom, 24K. The contract makes the law. All right, another fact, man. So those maxims are great. No government, no lawyer. The lawyers, you should know what's up with these, man, because you can't touch these. Okay, ready? Let's keep it going. Boom. I was already showing you God's people, man, because this one's for you, man. I just have to show you guys what's up, because I don't think a lot of people show you the words, right? They don't show you the words how they're supposed to be shown. And then I just like to show you the words, right? Because who showed me the words was my man David Jose, right? So David Jose, one of God's people, showed me the words, right? And I love how he shows me the words because, it makes sense how you show the word. All right, let's keep it going. Boom. We're always going to be hanging out in Plato's cave, man. Right? So this right here, you're always going to have the people who are always going to be looking at the screen, and someone's always going to be using the light to show them something on the screen. But remember, they're controlling what you see. So what we like to do is we like to bring you to the light, and then we like to show you what's up, man. Ooh, how did that happen? All right, let's go back. Let's go forward, right? Let's hit images. All right, boom. All right, here we go. Hi, grand jury. This one's for you. Look at these people right here. Let's see what they look like. They just look like they're, oh my God, I'm sitting in court right now. What's up, man? Let's just get this done. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's show you what's up with the grand jury, man. Okay, so remember, the function of the grand jury is to investigate the operations of the various officers, departments, and agencies of local government, right? That's what we do. We have to look at all of that, right? And then we do that all the time by just showing the keyword flow. Ready? Here we go. Boom. We're always going to look for maladministration. Ready? We're always going to look for faulty or improper management of the affairs of the people, right? So we're making sure that our public servants aren't messing up. All right, let's keep it moving. Treason. We're always going to be looking for treason. We're always going to be looking to see, is someone delivering? Is someone handing over? Is someone betraying the trust of the people, right? That's just what we want to know. Okay, so let's keep it going. Boom. We're always going to be looking for war, right? But remember, we're looking for the subtle war. We're looking for the war that causes confusion. We're looking for the war that mixes up things. We're looking for the war that eventually leads to large-scale military conflict. But you have to get there by causing the confusion, man. So if you do that, right, and a lot of people tend to do that with the words, man. So they try to confuse you with the words. All right, let's keep it going. Agent. Who are those that try to confuse you? They're agents. They're called agents. They're the ones who act, right? They're the ones who drive. They're the ones who draw out. They're the ones who move things, right? That's what the agents do, right? Scary simple service. All right, let's keep it going. Teach. All right, we like this one because teaching is stupid simple. All you do is show. All you do is point out. That's it. So when you teach, you show and you point out, man. Let's keep it going. All right, so here we go. Let's get into some meat, man. All right, so where are we? Oh, yeah, so we like this one right here because we always start with the California Constitution because before we walk, preamble, right, we have to say what's up, man. So we say, we the people of the state of California, grateful to Almighty God for our freedom in order to secure and perpetuate its blessings, do establish this Constitution, right? And we have a lot more constitutions, right? So we have all sorts of constitutions in all the states. Okay, let's keep it going. Boom. All right, so check this out right here. I was going to focus on this one right here, the free exercise. So this is Article 1, California Constitution, Section 4. The free exercise and enjoyment of religion without discrimination or preference are guaranteed. Stupid simple, right? So you can worship however it is that you wish to worship, right? We follow God. We serve God. And then we just found out we became friends, right? So now other servants are now friends of God, man. So this is just what we know now. We know what we're supposed to do, and we just show you what's up, right? Because you need to know these words. You need to know what your constitutions say, man. And the cool thing about the time that we live in right now is all you have to do is hop online, go check out Ballotpedia, type in your state constitution, and then you just start reading your Declaration of Rights, and then you guys are going to be free, man. Scary simple. All right, let's keep it going. All right, so why were we here? So we were here in Article I or Article 1 of California Constitution, and then you scroll down to text of Section 3, and then it says it right here. Every time the people have the right to instruct their representatives, petition government for redress of grievances, and assemble. We come together. We can come together freely to consult, means we can talk for the common good, right? So we can always assemble. We can always associate freely at any time, any place, anywhere for the common good, right? That's just the power that we have as the people. Stupid simple, right? All right, let's keep it going. All right, so this is Article 20XX, California Constitution, because we always want to show our public servants. Hi, public servants. I hope you're watching this one and having a good time. So we always want to show you guys what's up, man. We always want to show every member of legislature, every public officer, every employee, every executive, every legislature, every judicial, all of you people who swear to the Constitution, we want to show you what you guys swore to do, right? Every last one of you said that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, right? So every last one of you did it, right? So if you have a county sheriff, they did it, right? If you have a police officer, they did it. When you look at your mayors, they did it. When you look at all these public entities that hop up on the screen and they go blah, 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 we want to tell you people blah, 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 every last one of them sworn to be your servant, right? They swore to be one of the servants of the people, man. And then that's just what's up now, right? So let's keep it going. Let's show you one of the servants, right? So hi, California Secretary of State. We love you. You're so much fun. You know why? Because you get the people to start a business entity, right? And then you get all the people to go ahead into these zones right here. You get them to file a corporation. You get them to file their limited liability company, their limited partnership, their general partnership, their limited liability partnership, and their sole proprietorship, right? So every last one of you people who is in business in whatever state that it is that you're in, right? We know that all of you registered your entities under whatever state that you did, right? Which means that you fall under the jurisdiction of we the people, man. All right, so let's keep it going. We want to show you some key words. Remember, we started off with church, man. You know, most people, I was one of those people. This is all I thought the church was. I thought it was a place of assemblage set aside for the Christian worship, right? But then when I got smart and then I started to look up where the words come from because I needed to know what's up with the word. And then I started to see, oh, the Lord's house. Oh, that's power. And then I started to see ruler, Lord, right? And then I was like, that's power. And then I started to see to swell, swollen, hence, strong, powerful, right? And then I was like, oh my God, the church is the power. The church is where the power is, right? You know, I was blown away, man. And then I was just thinking about all these churches, right? Because there was a bunch of churches that didn't show the power during the coronavirus time, man. They closed the doors on the people and they say, you can't come in, right? You know, because we don't want you to get sick. And I was like, wait, I thought the church was always supposed to be open for the people, man. I thought that when everything was going bad, the one place that you can go to was the church. And then I found out during the coronavirus times, that wasn't true. And then I was like, how did this happen, man? So I had to do some research, right? And that's what we're doing right now. We're investigating, you know, because we wanted to find out what the body was, right? What the church body was. And then we found out the body, it originally means life, right? You know, lieb, life, right? You know, that's what body means, right? You see where it says trunk of a man or a beast, physical structure of a human or an animal, material frame, material, whatever. These are all abstract versions just to show you that body is life, right? You know, so when you have the body, you've got the life. All right, let's keep it going. People, hi people, check this one out. You're going to like this one, right? So all of you people, you are the army, right? You know, so we the people are the army. Scary simple service, right? Let's keep it going. Boom. Public. Hi, public. This one's for you too. So most of the people are public. What is the public? Open to general observations, right? You know, that's what you would think, right? But that's not what the public is, man, because public, you always want to scroll down and you always want to find out where the words come from. Public comes from populus, and populus is people, right? So we're getting circular. So when they use the word public, they're really talking about the people, man. All right, let's keep it going. Boss, right? I like the boss, man, because you know what boss is? Simple. It's not the overseer, right? The boss is the master, even though the overseer is the one who sees over, right? But then when you want to know what master is, you just click right here, and then you see master means great, right? So the master, the boss, is great, right? That's just what it is, man. That is the one. It's great. It's always sitting above. So you know who my master is? God is my master, right? God is great, right? I follow God. God tells me what's up, and then I go and I serve, man. Stupid simple. All right, let's keep it going. Boom. Here we go. Subject, matter, jurisdiction. We're in Cornell Law School, right? So this is where you get your law words from, right? So you always need to know what the subject matter jurisdiction is of anything that you're doing within man's realm, right? Because that's just what we do, right? Because you see right here, the power of a court to adjudicate a particular type of matter and provide the remedy demanded, right? So you got some words in there that you need to know, right? You always need to know where these words come from, because they use words to describe words, and then sometimes they'll twist you up with the words, man. So let's keep it moving. Court, right? What is court? Court's really simple. You see what this says right here? To grasp, enclose, right? Look at this one. Garden, plot of ground, right? So that's what court is, right? But most of the people think about it from these terms right here. Formal assembly held by a sovereign, right? They also think this, king's court, right? But then when I'm thinking about a court, all I'm thinking about is a garden. All I'm thinking about is something to grasp, something that's enclosed, right? So right now, this screen is my court. All right, let's keep it going. What's the other one? Remedy, right? So we wanted to know what remedy was, and then remedy is a form of court enforcement, of a legal right, resulting from a successful civil lawsuit, right? So these are all the different ways that you have remedy, right? Damages, that's money, right? Coercive remedies, requiring a party to do or admit doing a specific act, okay? A declaratory judgment, that's when the court determines individual rights in a specific situation without awarding damages or ordering particular actions. But we like these right here. We like the damages for the monetary compensation, right? Because sometimes people do things and they make you lose things, and then they injure your body, and then you're like, oh my God, you hurt me because of your actions, right? And then they're like, how'd I do that? And then you show them how they did that, and then you're like, now you got to make me whole. You got to make me whole by giving me money. All right, let's keep it going. So check out what remedy is right here, right? Remedy is just a fun word. You always want to know where these words come from, right? Remember, remedy, right? Re means again. Medere means to heal, right? So when you heal, that means you make something whole. You make something one, right? So when you remedy, you become one. Stupid simple, right? All right, let's go. Right, remember, adjudicate, right? So adjudicate means to make a formal judgment, right? So you are judging, right? And we know what judge is, right? So look at what judge is, right? Judge right here just means to say or to show, right? Stupid simple, right? Because you have just, which is right or law, right? So when you say, when you show, you're showing the right law. That means you're the judge, man. All right, so let's go. Boom, here we go. We got claim. Remember, claim is a set of operative facts creating a right enforceable in court, right? So we have a claim that we're showing right now, right? Because we're trying to show God's people a claim, right? That's what we're trying to show you right now, because we want God's people to wake up and we want them to see how they're supposed to operate in the realm, man. All right, so let's keep it moving, right? So we were at claim, right? So here was claim, right? Now we're going to show you where claim comes from. Remember, claim right here. See? Kele, to shout, to call out, to shout, right? So we're shouting and we're showing you the facts, man. So everything, if you start to see these words, they're always dealing with our senses, man. You're either seeing stuff or you're hearing stuff or you're touching stuff, right? And everything's about the light. Okay, so I'm going to show you what a fact is, man. You see what a fact is? To set, put, right? That's what a fact is. You set, put, right? There it is. To do. Boom. That's what a fact is, right? Okay, so let's show you something else. Exempt. Okay, so I'm showing you these words because I'm building something, right? Because I want you to see what exempt means, right? Ex means out, emere means to buy, right? So to take from, to take, distribute, right? So right here, it says exempt. Most people say not subject to a rule, law, authority, right? Because you're taking it out, right? You can't do anything with it, man. It's exempt, right? So when you see something, you just need to wipe that out of your mind because you can't touch that, man. All right, so let's keep it going. Revenue. Oh, look at this one. Income from property or possessions is revenue? I don't know, right? You see what this one says right here? Re for back and venire to come, back to come or come back, right? So something is coming back, right? That's why they call it income. Okay, so you start to see these words. This is when the spellcraft starts to go on, man. So I'm going to show you another one, right? Let's get into some meat, right? So here goes Article 1 of the United States Constitution. You scroll down to text of Section 7, right? And it says all bills for raising revenue, another name for income, another name for back again, shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills, right? You know, so they have to write these bills and then they have to pass these bills, right? You see, every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall before it become a law, right? So they have to pass these bills to make them law, right? That's what they have to do. So I'm going to show you something, right? There's some secrets out here that are right in front of our face that most people should know, but they don't know because they don't take the time to read, but we do now, right? Because we got our crown during the coronavirus time. Okay, so let me show you something. Hi, Internal Revenue Services. I want to show you what's up. Look at this one right here. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, is the revenue service back again. Income, back again, to come back, right? Service for the United States federal government, which is responsible for collecting. So you're gathering taxes, you're touching, right? So tax means to touch, right? So they want to touch us, right? So, and administering the Internal Revenue Code. Oh, what are all these things, right? The main body of the federal statutory tax law, right? So there's so many words in here. If you start reading this, your mind is just going to start to go in spirals, right? But you just need to focus on the federal statutory tax law, right? You know, and you just need to find out what that is, right? So then you always want to go into the U.S. Code and you always want to see what's a positive law codification, right? And then you always want to scroll down and then you want to see right here where it says, boom, a positive law title of the code is itself a federal statute, right? So a federal statute is not one of these. A federal statute is not a great law. It's not a maxim. It's not a law. So it doesn't bind the people, right? You know, no positive law or non-positive laws, which are all statutes in nature, they don't bind the people. They bind our public servants, right? So if you are a public servant and you took an oath, right, you know, to defend and, you know, take up the Constitution, right, you know, then that means what you did is that you, all of these federal statutes, they bind you. These are your words, man. These are your words that you have to adhere to, not the people, right? So a non-positive law title of the code is an editorial compilation of federal statutes, right? You know, so when they're just putting these words together and looking at them, it's almost like it's a magazine, man. You know, so check this out. For example, Title 10 of the Armed Forces is a positive law title because the title itself has been enacted by Congress, right? So Congress has enacted this law, which means that this law has been passed, which means that they followed the process that they're supposed to do, right? So all bills for raising revenues shall originate in the House of Representatives, right? But then the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills, but then every bill shall have passed, right, the House of Representatives, right? So they have to pass these bills in the House, right? Then they have to pass it in the Senate before it comes a law or before it becomes a law. And then if they don't do that, then it's just what you call an editorial compilation. It's just something that you can look at, which means it's no law. It has no power. It has no authority. Another example of that one would be Title 42. The Public Health and Welfare is a non-positive law title, and Title 42 is comprised of many individually enacted federal statutes, such as the Public Health Services Act and the Social Security Act Remember that, right? That have been editorial compiled and organized into the title, but the title itself has not been acted. You see that? The title itself has not been enacted, right? The Public Health Service Act and the Social Security Act has not been enacted, man. Put those words in your mind, man, and then you need to do some research, right? So let me show you what's up, right? So here goes the links to the current and recently completed positive law codification projects, right? So these right here, they are positive laws, right? That means that they have been enacted, right? So Congress has enacted these, right? So you can always go on here. So just go to the U.S. Code and then just type in the positive law codification and do some research and then find out which laws have been enacted. So which laws are positive and which laws are non-positive, right? And then you're going to start to have your eyes open up, man. This is what we have to do for God's people, right? So check this one out right here. Right here goes Cornell Law. Hi, Cornell. What's up? Okay, so check this out. So we were in here just looking at all these laws that are either positive or non-positive, and we're just like, oh, wow, there's a lot of code in here. We have how many are there? 54? You got 54 codes in here, 54 titles, right? And some of them are positive and some of them are not, right? And the ones that are not positive, right here, Title 26, Internal Revenue Code. That's a non-positive law, which means it's no law. No law, no binding, right? So look at this one right here. Let's keep it going, right? So I want to show you something in this code that is no law, right? And then you see something, it says U.S. Code subsection 501, exemption from tax on corporations and certain trusts, etc., right? So this means that these entities right here are out of the tax game, man. That means that they don't have to pay taxes. They are exempt, right? They are out. They are not part of any of this stuff right here, right? And then when you read this, it says 501A, exemption from taxation, an organization described in subsection C. Okay, you see, so they give you a roadmap. So you have to go to 501A, and then you have to go to subsection C to find out, or D, right, to find out what exempt is from taxation under this subtitle, right? So then you go from A, now we'll scroll down to C, and then it says, here's a list of exempt organizations. The following organizations are referred to in subsection A, which means you're exempt from taxes, which means you don't pay taxes, right? So any corporation organized under act of Congress, which is an instrumentality of the United States, right? But only if such corporation is exempt from federal income tax under such act as amended and supplemented before July 18, 1984, blah, blah, blah. The title regarded, right? So if you see right here, it's just telling you that there's entities that are government entities. They don't pay taxes, man. They're exempt, right? So let's keep scrolling, right? So this is the one that we like right here. We like the 501c3 because you see right here, corporations and any community chest, fund, or foundation organized and operated exclusively for religious. Right there is where we stop. Religious, right? So you need to know what the church is, right? You need to know what the church is, and you need to know that the church and religious are linked, right? Because they're bound together, right? The church and the body and the religious is bound together, right? But now that you see this right here, you know that they are exempt from taxation, right? So let's keep it going, right? So let's scroll to IRS, so I like to go to the IRS because they have just lots of good information and cool words there, right? And then when you say churches, define the churches, right? And then it says right here, you see that? It says the term church is found, but not specifically defined in the Internal Revenue Code. Boom. Okay, so you stop right there, and then you know what's up now, right? So you know that the church is found, but it's not specifically defined in the IRS code, right? And then when you go back here, and then you see that a church is a 501A, right? And then it scrolls down to C, right? 3, and then you see these corporations are exempt, right? And then the religious ones are exempt, right? And then you're like, oh, you're exempt, right? So I got that good, right? And then you start to see what the characteristics are of the church, right? And then they have attributes of the church, and then they list all these attributes right here on IRS for you, right? So you can go and you can look at IRS and see what all the attributes of the church are, right? But then you start looking over here, and it says right here, the use of the term church also includes conventions and associations of churches, as well as integrated auxiliaries of a church, right? So now you want to look at those, right? And then you want to see churches, integrated auxiliaries, right? And conventions or associations of churches, right? So churches including integrated auxiliaries and conventions or associations of churches that meet the requirements of Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenues Code are automatically considered tax exempt, right? You see that? Automatically considered tax exempt, okay? So no church has to file any paperwork with the state because they're automatically tax exempt, man. So this is where I started to have a problem, right? Because when I started to do my research and I started to find out what was up, right, then I was like, whoa, man, there's something going on here, right? There's something really, really fishy going on with the churches, right? Because the churches is supposed to be the power, right? But then I see all these churches who identify as 501c3, right? But then when you talk to them, and then they're like, yeah, why did you register your church with the state, man? Why did you do that? Because you're automatically tax exempt, man. So you don't have to do certain things because you got the power, because you're outside of this box, man. So now that I know that there's a bunch of churches out there that identify themselves as 501c3 nonprofit organizations, which means that they put themselves under the jurisdiction of the state, which means that they no longer have the power, which means that they serve another master. They don't serve God, man. So every church out there that is a 501c3 and they have their little piece of paperwork that's coming from the government, and then the government said, here's your little paper, and we're going to tell you that you're a 501c3, and now you can go out there and you can apply for funds from the government, and then we're going to give you these funds because you did your job. You know that you don't serve God. You serve Mammon. You are not one of the churches. You are not for God's people because you closed down. You closed down during the hardest time that we had to go through in our life during the coronavirus time, man. And I'll never forgive you for that, man. I will never forgive the churches that went down the route and then they became 501c3 and then they were so focused on the money, right, that they forgot to take care of God's people and they hurt God's people, man. You guys have scarred yourselves with me on that one, man, because I will remember you for this one, because this is just what happens, man. We just know that sometimes the churches get infiltrated, and then they get infiltrated by the people who don't serve God, man, even though that they claim to serve God, right? So who am I to judge? I'm just sitting here, pointing things out. That's all I'm doing, right? So check this out. Let's keep it going, right? So churches can also do this, right? So the church, right, you can donate things to the church, right? And then you can donate a lot of things of what people call income, right? And then some of them, right, qualify for contributions up to 100%. So here's an example, right? So say if you're working for some corporation, right? And then say if you have a church, right? And then what you can do is you can actually donate your paycheck to the church, right? And then all of that will be tax free. And then you don't have to worry about the IRS man coming after you and trying to touch you, right? Because you're protected by the church, So this is where I was starting to understand some things, and then it was just blowing my mind. And then I was like, wait a minute. So, every man and every woman that is part of a church, right, they can donate their stuff, and then they can contribute their money to the church, and then they can go do some wonderful things for the people out there, right? Because it is all tax exempt, right? And in that way they can go and, like, say you can start an organization, you can start a daycare, you can start a homeless shelter, you can start all sorts of entities out there that actually care for the people, and you will be tax free by law, right? By law, right? And then you can do a lot more with that wealth, and you can help out God's people, right? But then this is when I was like, there's something fishy going on, right? Because these 501c3s, they fall under a different jurisdiction, right? And then the church is supposed to be private, completely private, right? And that's what's up, man. So this is what I do with my man now. See, say hi to my man, right? So my man is my hands, right? And then they also think, right? So we were thinking, and then we just like to think now, and we like to show the word, and then we like to show the church, right? And then we like to show how they define it. The IRS defines it, right? But then we like to show what the actual church is, because the church is the power, right? It's the Lord's house, right? You know what the church is? My body is the church, right? So my body is where God lives, right? God lives inside my body, because you cannot see the kingdom, because the kingdom of God is within, right? And then that's where the Lord lives, right? And in the Lord and in the Spirit, they speak through my vessel, and then sometimes they talk through my person, and then you hear my words, right? And then my words come out of my mask, also called my person, right? But that's what it is, man. So every man and every woman has a body, and that body is the church, right? And then by law and by definition, everything that you earn is 100% deductible from taxes, man. So you are exempt from paying taxes if you know what's up with the church, man. So that's what my man just showed your man, right? So now you should know what's up, right? Because now we're going to get into the word, right? Because this is what happened, right? See this, Hosea 4:6, right? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? God's people are destroyed because they lack knowledge, because some of their leaders, right, who are supposed to shepherd them into God's kingdom, have not shepherded them properly, right? And then they just don't show them the words. They might go blah, 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 and they might talk, and they might perform, and they might play music, and they might do things like that, but they don't show you the knowledge, man. They don't show you the knowledge, and then every one of God's people should be showing each other the knowledge, so then that way we can all free each other, man. Stupid simple, right? All right, so let's keep it moving. Here goes John 1:1. I like John 1:1 because it's all about the word, man. Remember, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God, right? So we always show the word because we're always trying to show God, and we like to show God's people what the words of God are, man. Stupid simple, right? All right, let's keep it going. Genesis, right? We always want to show how women were created. And it says right here, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. We're just going to stop right there, right? Because then God gave man dominion over everything, right? Over everything, right? And then so God said, created man in his own image. In the image of God created he male, or he him male, and female created he them, right? So God created man, God created woman, and then God gave man and woman dominion over everything, over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, right? So all of you public servants, man is in charge of you, man. So check this out right here. I'm going to show you where man comes from. Psalms 82:6, right? I have said, who said that? God said that. Ye are gods, right? You see that? Little g, right? Because you got big G, and little g is supposed to follow big G, right? And all of you are children of the Most High. So little g are the children of the big G, right? It's stupid simple. The words are right here in your face. Okay, so check this out right here. Mark 1:2-1:7, right? And Jesus answering said unto them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at him, right? So Caesar is just another form of government, right? God is the church. God is the body. God is the people, right? So you have to give God's things, right? And you have to learn how to separate it, man. So that's just what we do now, right? So we show you what's up. So now you should know, all you churches, all you so-called churches, right? You guys are free. You guys have been free, but you haven't been acting free. And every one of your people that are in that church, you can help them out, right? Because you can make them an association of the church, right? You can associate every man and every woman that goes to your church, and then you can make sure that they now are exempt from paying taxes, and then they can go help out their families, and then they can build their bodies, and then they can build their communities, and they can become powerful again, man. And that's why I was upset with the churches, because the churches didn't do that, but we do that. This is what we do, right? We want every man and every woman to associate with the church, and we want them to be free because we want them to build God's kingdom, man. Stupid, simple service, right? So let's close it out, man. Remember, this is what we do. We show the order. Remember, God created the world. Check. Remember, God created man, aka the people. Check. Remember, people created states. Check. Remember, people created constitutions. Check. Remember, people created governments. Check. Question: when did government become boss of the people? Answer: never. God's the boss of the people, right? Because that's what big G is. And little g is little g, right? So that's just stupid, simple service. So I'm done. I'll go talk to you guys in the future. I'm going to go fry some chicken, and then the wife is going to make some vegetables on the grill, and we're just going to have some fun, man, celebrating God's kingdom. I'll talk to you guys in the future. Remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.